So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the last and final day of the 4 days of gains. We have not disappointed in the last week. We've had a really exciting time that we've spent with the community here. We've had good calls, trade setups in the market where we're moving upwards. And last week we had Remark on the call. And this week, one of our favorites, Goddard chain. We are really excited having Bobby Pham with us today. That's going to tell us a lot more about the insights and the future and the visions of KAI as most of the community know it. Bobby, thank you so much for spending the time here with us this morning and in your afternoon. I know you've been with the company for some time and you've got some nice insights and future prospects where we are all going. And the community of Bitcoin Trend and Forecast are really long-term holders in KAI. And we do see the future. I've been following it. I'm staking it as well. And I do think the future for the project, as you just continue to build, has got lots of legs to go. And we see what you guys are doing in the background. And that's the key, to continue to develop, have those roadmaps out and just meet them phase by phase. So let's get into it. Bobby, you are the CMO of KAI. How long, what was your interest in marketing, your experience? I've seen you studied way back then and you've been an SEO specialist. So tell us a little bit more of your marketing experience and the benefits that it's going to have an impact on KAI as well.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, so I've been doing pretty much like digital marketing ever since 2006 when I graduated. As you mentioned, I first started in SEO, and that was the majority of my career for like probably 10 years. And then around 2014, I made a pivot into the affiliate marketing industry, which is a subset, which is another, I guess, subset. If you take digital marketing as a whole, SEO is like one subset, affiliate marketing is like another subset. So I kind of pivoted over to affiliate marketing. And when I pivoted over to this industry, some of the people that I worked with were doing, unbeknownst to me, were doing spam. I didn't know that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
But it was weird spam. So if you ever recall seeing like some of those, emails that, probably shouldn't be in your main folder, that's kind of the industry I was working in. And, I bring this point up because, working in this industry, I think some of these people are some of the brightest people I've ever met. Like, I think they know how Google works more than the actual Google engineers, how Facebook works more than the Facebook engineers. So I got into that industry because it wasn't one that I was comfortable with. But what it did help me, the reason why I bring it up is because in the crypto space, as you know, it's full of, spam and some bad characters as well. So this really helped me prepare for this new industry and kind of help me navigate, okay, I recognize what they're doing here and what they're doing. This is not a good project, things like that. So that's a lot of my background, my digital marketing background. And once I left the industry, I created my own agency, my own digital marketing agency, which initially focused on SEO. Now we are actually moving over as a result of my new position, focusing on Web3 brands. So I split my time between, doing managing my agency and of course here my work at Cardia Chain here, which there's quite a lot of overlap as well. So that's kind of my quick background in a nutshell in terms of my marketing experience.
No, that's awesome. And I see you've got your Vba digital company that you're still presently busy with, along with then Goddard chain. So that's amazing. So when did you then start with your crypto journey? When did that all start, and your investments, your first investments? How did that whole scenario unfold in your life? As we all really knew in cryptos from 2016, 17, that was the whole hype. And that's where the whole influx of a lot of members also from myself started into this journey. So how did you find that?
Yeah, I really like, a lot of my friends, that were, in the spam industry, like they're always good at, following the next trend. And they were doing crypto, like, as you mentioned, back in 2016, some as early 2015, and then I remember everyone was talking about, all my friends were talking about in 2017, how obviously they were experiencing all these gains here. So around December 2017, it was when I rushed to create my first Coinbase account and try to buy my first couple of crypto. And then in 2018, around March, like all my money just kind of went down, and like, oh man, this kind of sucks.
Volatile.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyways, but that's kind of when I got in, and after I lost the majority of my first initial try, and I didn't really mess with it too much until around later 2020, I think mid 2020 or later 2020. Later 2020 is when I started getting back into it here. I picked up some Rune. I got into Polkadot as an early sell, and
nice.
I got some nice gains from those, and that kind of began my like crypto investment or crypto experience. So yeah, so ever since, I guess then, I was a casual, I guess you could call myself a casual trader, casual investor in crypto. Did a couple of NFT flips, a couple of token public sales, pretty much all the, I guess, general crypto hustles you could say. So that was my experience in crypto. I wouldn't call myself like a professional crypto trader or anything like that outside of, yeah. So that was kind of my side thing until eventually I ran into Cardia Chain.
How nice is that we can all eventually venture into this industry full time. So you start with it as a hobby, and now we all go full time. So that's always exciting. So yeah, so how did as you mentioned, then you were introduced, how did the introduction work with Goddard Chain? Did you meet some of the people? I know you're based around that area in Vietnam where they are. How did that whole story unfold, that you got in touch with probably the CEO or?
Yeah, so I met Hui through a really close friend here. So a lot of there's a strong community of Vietnamese people that they go study in the US, they go work at Silicon Valley, and then they come back here to Vietnam here. So that was one of my close friends, and she was really good friends with Hui, who had, at the time when I remember meeting him, he had just came back and started Cardia Chain for like maybe, I don't know, I think maybe 6-7 months here. I remember meeting him over like some random hot pot spot. So, we were just casually talking, and then the relationship just kind of kept through that. That was like probably actually a year and a half before I actually started doing anything with Cardia Chain. But yeah, so I met Hui randomly through a friend here, and then we just kind of maintained a casual connection. Through my friend, she actually started working with them first, and then I just casually mentioned, hey, if you guys ever need help with marketing, I'd be glad to come in. Don't for free. I just want to come learn what it's like to work in the industry, help out. If this turns into something, sure. So that's exactly what happened. I pretty much was working with them behind the scenes for about 4 months. Just learning their structure, learning what they got behind the scenes, trying to see if there's a fit, and then eventually it turned into something a little more.
Yeah, that's awesome, because you need to be able to get the message out there. And I think that the marketing aspect of any crypto company is such a key component. And when you have someone as a specialist like you to get those niche marketing aspects, that's really important, especially when we go into the next cycles and you just want to pinpoint them down. So who founded Goddard Chain? Was it you himself? Was it someone else? And when did they actually start this whole project, or the vision of it?
So the people that started it was actually Hui and Sri. They're good friends. They're the co-founders here. They had a couple of other friends. I'm not exactly sure who the other team members were involved initially, but I know these two primarily were the co-founders here. Started around, I think, mid or late 2018 is when they started working on their project here. So yeah, Hui is from Google. He spent, I think, 10-12 years at Google as one of the top, the youngest lead senior engineer. I think.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. So yeah, started back around late 2018. I think originally their original plan was trying to offer blockchain as a service. So they started trying to develop a lot of enterprise relationships here in Vietnam, trying to offer this technology to these brands here. Through that process, they learned about what it's like to try to do business here in Vietnam, which can be really complicated at times. And that eventually led them to creating the Vba, which some of you guys have seen on Hui's Twitter, which is the Vietnamese Blockchain Association. So Hui's been spending a lot of time working on that lately. But anyways, back to the original question. Yeah, so Cardia Chain started back in late 2018, originally offering blockchain as a service to enterprise brands. But from there, we've kind of grown a lot more than just that now.
Yeah, and it has exactly grown a lot more. So, and obviously you guys are based in Vietnam. Where in Vietnam is it really? Because there's a few different states or areas in Vietnam.
Yeah, so we're headquartered in Ho Chi Minh City, the capital here. We have about almost 3 or 4 offices, I think, 3 offices actually. And then there's another office that the tech team is building up in Hanoi, which is the capital of Vietnam. But yeah, so we could say we're spread across both of those cities for now.
Yeah, so besides the core team that I've seen on the page, you've probably a much bigger team as well, correct?
Yeah, we're actually, that website is going to be changed really in the next couple of days here. So there's going to be a lot of information updated about that. But yeah.
Oh, nice. I'll surely be able to follow that very soon. Right. So what sets you guys apart from other blockchains? Besides that, he's got the Google experience. Bringing it back over.
Yeah, so I mean, that's I think, when I answer this question, because truthfully, from my perspective, I feel like all the blockchains are really similar. They're all really all the other layer ones outside of Ethereum are essentially fast and cheaper, and more efficient here. But I think I'll start with first the tech here. So I like to position Cartier Chain as a blockchain ecosystem. We're the leading blockchain ecosystem in Southeast Asia. If you ask the Southeast Asia about any blockchain company, one of the first brands that they'll mention is likely Cartier Chain. Another one would be Zilliqa aside that. But I think Cartier Chain, I think we have a really strong presence here in Southeast Asia, and really a lot of developing regions as well. So I guess first is, we're one of the leaders in Southeast Asia. If you're looking for Southeast Asian traffic or Southeast Asian partners, that's where you can come talk to us about. Our core product is the blockchain itself. As everyone knows, we're a layer 1 interoperable blockchain. We have a non-invasive approach to interoperability. Pretty much what that means is blockchains, if you're a blockchain that you want to connect to us, we make it really easy for you to connect. To put some perspective, if you want to connect to Polkadot's, I guess, infrastructure, you have to make quite a bit of changes to try to adapt to their infrastructure and connect to their chain. We have a non-invasive approach where we make it really easy for you to, and in fact, we actually kind of connect to you, actually is a better way to describe it here. So I think that's what I would, that's what's unique about our tech, is we have that non-invasive approach. You can kind of think of our blockchain as like, blockchain for small to medium business owners, if you could think of it like, if you want to find a way to visualize what I'm saying. Whereas Polkadot's kind of for like bigger brands, enterprise brands. So that's our tech, and then we also have a lot of other core products here that we're working on here to pretty much help. When I say blockchain ecosystem, we want to focus on either creating or working with partners that can help develop products that help make it easier to onboard non-crypto users into the space. So one, we have the blockchain, interoperable blockchain. We have our DEX. We have a metaverse that we're developing, an open metaverse that's going to represent the Cartier Chain ecosystem.
Yeah.
We have a wallet, super user friendly. And then one thing we're going to be experimenting with is Web3 services. What I've found as a marketer joining Cartier Chain is, obviously, as you mentioned, there's a lot of pain points in marketing. I find that a lot of people don't do marketing well, just don't know how to do it, just don't know marketing. So any service that we can help. So for example, like AMA as a service, hackathons as a service, some of these other community management, some of these other common pain points or issues that other brands have when it comes to marketing or business development, we want to help with that as well, because we have a lot of experience doing that now.
No, thanks for that. And you touch a little bit on Web3 and NFTs and a little bit of a future roadmap. And I had a look on your website, and I assume that's going to be updated as well, part of the website refresh, because I see here's 2022, because as our community, we also longer term holders within this project. What is a 2, 3, 4? Is there a roadmap more or less where you guys see the future for this in the next few years?
Yeah, so actually the second half of this roadmap is going to be quite different than what you're seeing here. So behind the scenes, we made a lot of structural changes as we created some different entities to, I guess I'll add a side note. Doing business in Vietnam is a little challenging. So sometimes we have to create like another entity or company to try to, let's just say, accommodate some of what it takes to do business here in Vietnam here. So what you're seeing here, the second half of it is actually some of the plans for the other entities that spun off. But to let you know, to give your listeners, I guess, a sneak peek at what to expect in the upcoming year, a big focus of ours is going to be our DEX here. I'm working on version 3 of our Kai DEX here.
Yeah.
Yep. So so I think it just recently launched, although there's still some bugs working out. It's still really early, but we're really placing a lot of focus and emphasis on that DEX here. Our goal is to pretty much starting in, I think, August, in August, we're going to have an IDO per week here. So this is something that we're really working on a lot here. The next thing after that is going to be BLAN, which is an open metaverse, or a metaverse, should I say? And that metaverse is going to represent the Cartier chain ecosystem. So any business that or any token pair, anything that launches in our DEX will also have presence in that metaverse. Additionally, that metaverse, we're also going to be selling, or we actually already are selling slots to traditional businesses, particularly starting here in Vietnam. So yeah, so we have the metaverse, and then after that is the wallet, and then of course then we'll be trying to offer Web3 services here. But so in a nutshell here, that's really a big part of what we're working on is over the next for the remainder of the year. All while the VBA is going to be a big part of that as well. I guess, now that we're on the topic of the roadmap and the VBA, I should give you guys some insight to why the VBA is important. So as you know, this is what we learned when we were trying to do business with enterprise brands, is as they did want to work with blockchain or crypto companies, but there was a little hesitation because of lack of clarity and legal framework. In fact, lack of clarity and legal framework is the reason why a lot of countries or companies are reluctant to adopt or work with crypto or blockchain companies. So the VBA is an entity endorsed by the Vietnamese government to say, hey, we want to go into this space, we want to develop this tech, so let's create some legal framework around it. And that is what Hui is leading. He's leading that organization there. So through that, obviously that's a great partnership for Cartier Chain, a great relationship. So through that relationship, through that entity, first we've been getting a lot of connection, or a lot of people asking us about, hey, Cartier Chain, what's Cartier Chain about? What's the VBA about? What can we do in Vietnam? And obviously that connection we hope will benefit, Cartier Chain and all the things we got going on.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's very exciting. And I think you guys have got the core team, you've got the vision, you've got the right mentality and experience to really take this project to the next level, where it's going to burst out of its seams in the future and take on the likes of AVAX and all those other companies. But just to wrap it up, the last one is specifically when it comes to the technology and the statistics. Can you just do a quick breakdown of the statistics with your relative speeds on the blockchain compared to other blockchains?
I think there is
this model.
There's a little graph there. Yeah. But quickly here, we have, I think about 10,000, we can handle a little over 10,000 transactions per second. We've stress tested that, no problem. Obviously, transaction fees are like 1/1000th of a cent or something, like 100th of a cent. So essentially free, less than 5 seconds to create a block. I think right now we're sitting at about 500, a little over 500,000 users here, about 47 million transactions to date. So yeah,
that's it. And then you're going to include Solana at a point as well.
Likely, but they're pretty fast too. So yeah, I think we're a little bit faster than AVAX though. So yeah,
that's awesome. Awesome. No, listen, been a real pleasure. I'm going to say from my side quickly, because I know so many of our members always want to have a look at a chart. What's a chart telling us? And just from a pure technical perspective, I've re-raised the chart. I started from scratch this morning, quickly have a looking at it. So we had an upper channel here at about 15 cents, lower channel, which is at 0.11, where it's currently trading at. And if you look at the upper trends, every time when we're at this lower end, it can go up to this 14-15 cents level. That's 1,300 odd % gain in the long term. But I do have other targets because this is a bigger consolidation period that we're in at the moment. And I do see targets of 80 cents to $11. I actually do have higher targets as well, but I'm not going to mention that just yet. I like to see certain medium-term timeframes play out first before I go on further. But that's really looking promising. And I'd love for the future for us to keep in touch. And if there's going to be any nice NFT drops or nice prizes that we can give away to our community, please keep in touch as well. We'd like to be some of the first and always, yeah, because we really love this project. So it's been a pleasure.
No. Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I love to keep the relationship. And actually, this was quite enjoyable. You know, I'm just learning now about your community here. So yeah, anytime we have some new stuff coming up, be sure to, you know, let you guys know, and, you know, be more than happy to come have another talk or an AMA or whatever and share with you guys.
Great stuff. Is there any questions, Ryan, that we've got for Bobby? Maybe just one before we let him go.
Yes, Ines, we've got a question from John. Bobby, while Cardier chain is most well known in Southeast Asia, how do you position yourself globally in such a competitive blockchain industry?
So yeah, I mean, I think actually, you know, you kind of thanks for asking, John. You kind of, you know, hit it. You ask, how do we position ourselves globally in a competitive blockchain industry? Well, you know, being the most well known in Southeast Asia is actually, you know, my strategy for them to do that here. Southeast Asia is leading the globe, I think, in cryptocurrency adoption. Vietnam's like number 3 around that, and in my conversations a lot, you know, I'm privileged to have a lot of relationships and close friends that are, you know, VCs and investors, and one thing that they're telling me is a lot of people are really interested in Southeast Asian traffic. You know, when I first joined the team, obviously, you know, like anyone else, every other blockchain, they're trying to go for global domination, and I was like, guys, we really have something here in Southeast Asia. Let's really focus here on this region first, which is already strong here, and everyone wants this region anyway. So to answer your question, that is exactly how we want to position ourselves globally, at least right now, is to be the leader in Southeast Asia. And we expect that is what will make us stand out.
Yeah, so Mike is asking, can I swap for Theta T-Fuel on KAI? Basically, he's asking how many coins can he swap on the DEX, KAI's DEX?
Yeah, so Theta Fuel for Kai, no, the coins swap on the DEX here. I think we're going to be starting with so we have a version 3 DEX, which is going to be quite different from prior here. Right now, the initial coins that we have listed, I think is going to be around the 15 range, I think right now, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so I think around, you know, around 10 to 15, I guess, to be safe.
All right. I think that's sort of the time that we have for now, that I need to head into my second part of the show, Bobby. So you're welcome to hang around, or you can go. Thank you so much for the time and effort you've made for us, and we'll truly be in touch with you again. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No,
the community appreciate it.
Thank you guys, everyone. Thank you for having me. And yeah, you know, you guys enjoy your day, and hopefully we'll stay in touch.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bobby.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Keep well. Bye. Hey, thanks, everybody. So I hope you really enjoyed that part of our first segment of KAI. And we know now even more that what the future is and what they're planning and the roadmap, NFTs, metaverse, new DEXs. So that's very exciting space. These are the targets that I worked out this morning and just re-looked at it from a fresh perspective. And that's really looking solid. What I want to get into now is just a quick market overview. So we see lately that we have Bitcoin coming up, and it's purely for the whole crypto market as a whole really, is that we made a higher high for the USDT dominance, and then subsequently money has been slowly starting to flow back into cryptos. Again, once we broke that resist or support line, we're coming down to retest this specific line. So once we get to this line, that will be closely monitored. If we get to oversold, you can see we already oversold here. So we may get a reversal where we have some consolidation or a trend reversal as a minor rally to the upside again. But as long as we continue to make higher lows, continuing down in this fashion, and once we break this 6.14, we drop to the next level. And every level that we drop going forward will lead to more gains going on in the crypto space and also in Bitcoin. So this was the chart that we had yesterday, said that's very important. We're hovering around this, beautiful demand candles coming in here, buying volumes coming in as well. So the next level, 24,500 is my next key. And above this, we will really track Bitcoin going higher, leading a lot of these alts also higher. So SRM is higher from, that was one of the first coins we had last week. It's currently trading 25% up. The Joe trade that we had was from the buy levels up now to the first target. So it's actually 48% if you manage to get into the Joe trade. We looked at Gala yesterday. Gala is just holding strength. You can add DCA, whatever the case may be for this specific coin, but also above that 6 cents level is a great re-entry for future prices to those targets. But the coin that I want to touch on today is one, Harmony. Unfortunately, it actually already had the beautiful break, but it's in a re-entry zone at the moment. So Harmony has got a nice, it's within the downtrend. We're seeing this cycle reversal. So the upper target that I've got is at 5 cents, about 90%. So be sure to take some profits off the table, and we will get more chances to ride this up and down within our community. So come over to MTT, the medium-term trade reports. We say the crypto reports is all you need to grow your portfolio. And part of the team is myself, Marius, and then Ryan, who handled all the questions for us today. Also on the social media aspect and his marketing and research. And we say MTT fits that beautiful space in the trading environment for 7 to 45 days trading range, a beautiful setup that's going to play out. And if you can look at, for example, a SRM, there was the countdown days. There's a 45-day cycle. So we're just going to trade this going up and down, up and down. And as you get to specific targets, take profits off the table, and you can, once it comes down again. But that's just how we play it in MTT. So we write a weekly report or twice a week where we update the community of new re-entry or could take profit levels from what I see in the market that's going on. So we specialize in looking at NFTs, gaming, metaverse, all of those specific key aspects, DAOs within the crypto sector, where we're going to outperform Bitcoin on a relative basis. And part of this, we have our Telegram channel, we've got our reports, and then we do, we now, exactly like today, we're looking to get more interviews. So as this is the last day for the 4 days of gains, we're looking for a date in August already, and we're planning to get 1 or 2 of the nice gaming coins out there, and we can see if we can run a nice competition or something by August as well. So that is a lot of stuff that's going to happen in MTT. We're really looking forward to the future and what it holds within the bigger Bitcoin trend and forecast group. So you will go, if you go on Bitcoin trend and forecast, BitcoinTAF.com, go to events, you'll see the future events for BitcoinTAF there, specifically the 4 days of gains, which is going to take place in August. And there's a bunch of events that's taking place all the time. We're doing the best that we can for the entire community. BitcoinTAF is the largest community crypto-based family in the world. So go to the event page and see what we're doing there. You can go to products if you're interested in taking a subscription. This is a combo deal. So you go to products, there's the MTT package or products that you can purchase for a 3 month, 6 months, or a 12-month subscription, or you go to the combo package. And once you click on filter, it will give you the best option, a combo deal with Marius's long-term trade reports and the medium-term trade reports, where Marius focuses on the longer-term region from 6 months to 12 months, and even a longer-term time frame where we're in the cycle of a 7 to a 45 day, where if you don't have time to sit in the computer to day trade the whole time, this is a perfect product for you, where we give you entries and good exit strategies for a coin that's going to play out within that specific time period. So that's a wrap from us for today. We're really looking forward to seeing everyone again on the next calls. And on the inside, a little bit later today, we've got the memberships call as well, where we're going to dive into all the reports, all the charts in the reports, and a much broader crypto overview of what's happening in the markets. And if you have any questions from members, we also welcome them to ask, and that we can answer all those questions that they have. So thanks to everyone. Thanks for being on the call today. And we will release these videos also on YouTube, so be sure to follow us. I'm sure Ryan also posted our Linktree and the specific Facebook or Instagram channels for you guys to follow, and we will always just share some nice free information also, just to create that engagement with the community. Okay, everybody, keep well and stay blessed. Chat soon. Bye.